So, Steve, the markets were off to a pretty rough start today, with some weak earnings forecasts coming out for Alcoa, for example, on aluminum demand, and also from Chevron on third quarter earnings. And then the Fed Beige Book showed that the U.S. is still expanding at a moderate pace. What did you get out of the Fed Beige Book report? And also, what are some key macro drivers that we should be looking out for tomorrow?
All right. Well, the market came in kind of ugly this morning, thanks to Alcoa last night with their declining guidance as far as global demand is concerned, especially out of China and other Asian nations. Chevron warned on their own earnings, which is kind of a warning signal for the usually highly profitable oil sector. And you also had the IMF, which warned as far as the euro crisis is concerned that if this crisis is not solved, this debt crisis, that by the end of 2013, European banks would be forced to sell up to $4.5 trillion worth of assets, which is going to put a weight on almost every market in the world if that comes to bear. The market was negative until about 2 p.m. when the Beige Book was released. The Beige Book showed moderate growth, slightly better than the last Beige Book. 2 districts out of the 12 were not moderately growing, New York and Kansas City, which was an improvement from the 3 last time. The market did try to rally on this news. The S&P got up to about 1435, but then the pressure was back on. It was a negative day. It was certainly a risk-off trade. The safe havens today were gold, which was flat on the day. The U.S. Treasury auctioned off some 10-year debt, and they sold it at a lower yield and also a higher bid to cover than the last previous similar auction. So those were a couple places where people hid their money. As far as tomorrow's macro, there's not a lot. We get the trade gap, which isn't really a market mover, and we get initial jobless claims, which certainly will be looked at pretty closely, as well as continuing claims. Continuing claims, the average alone, the 4-week average dropped by 13,000 last month. So that seems to be an area where we're seeing improvement. I'm sure that will be looked at almost as closely as the headline number tomorrow, which hopefully we're looking for around 370.
Great. Thanks so much, Steve. Well, so Chevron's reported, and so has Alcoa, and a couple more earnings for the rest of the week include J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo on Friday.
This market has fewer players.
We're coming into a Monday where we're going
would enter in a new stage of tech.
It's a stock picker's market.
Welcome to the 5 dumbest things.
Apple reported earnings.